Hi, Danny. Last March, I had to go up to our RV site up in northern Wisconsin. We were expecting a delivery up there, and they needed to clear the driveway out of the snow so the truck could back in there and drop off it. It's going to be 2 big pallets. So I went up there, and there's like 6 to 12 inches of snow across the driveway. So I shoveled out where the plow had piled it up at the entrance to the driveway. And then I got this bright idea, rather than shoveling, I just drive my CRV back and forth through the snow to pack it down. And that worked really good until I was backing up one time. I hit a rut, and the wheel started spinning, and it threw the whole CRV to the right, just in time to have a tree wipe out passenger side mirror. And so I picked up all the pieces and brought them home. And the CRV is 11 years old, so I wasn't going to go spend a lot of money buying a whole new mirror assembly and ripping out the upholstery inside the door and all that, or you have someone paid to do it. So I said, I'm going to give this a go, and I'm going to try to repair that housing that got smashed off by the tree. So this video shows how I did it. Turned out pretty doggone good. If you look real close, you can see that it's it's been epoxied together, but if you don't know what's there, you're not going to notice it. So it was kind of interesting how to do it and learn a little bit. So watch the video. If you like it, give us a like. Subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate the subscriptions. There's going to be more stuff about how to fix and make things. So tell your friends about it, give us a like, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Alright, this is what a mirror is supposed to look like. Okay, this is what it looks like when you back into a tree. It's housing all busted off, so I'm going to have to pull that mirror off and try to take out some of the mounting brackets that broke and try to put this all back together. Okay, I'm going to try to pull this mirror off here. It should be just some little brackets here I got to pull out. Now we're going to try to do that. And pull it out there. Okay. Yeah, that come out pretty easy. I think I just got to lift it off and out now. Okay, there we go. There's the mirror. Alright, now I got to take this screw out right here, and there's another one down here. Those are the broken mounting studs. Okay, so there. Now I'm going to make sure I know that this is the top one. Okay. I want to mix these up because I want to have to epoxy these to the housing that I'll show you later that I got. Because when I get it all epoxy together, it's got to fit on here. What I'm going to do is leave the screw out of the bottom on here, and that way I'll make sure that I know which is the bottom, which is the top. So these I'll just leave apart. And I'll get all my other stuff. So that way, when I get it all epoxy together, it'll all fit. So now, until I get this epoxy, I'm going to put the mirror back on. Okay, this is going to go on just like this. Get it in there all the way. Now this snaps on here, like that. And pull this out a little bit. This snaps in right there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start epoxying the cover for my passenger side mirror that I destroyed when I was up north last winter, and I was trying to pack down snow in the driveway, and it slid sideways as I was backing up, and I wiped the mirror out on a tree. So instead of buying a new one and replacing it, the car's 11 years old, and I'm not very good at pulling off the inside upholstery and stuff in order to get that to hold. So I'm going to epoxy this thing together, and I'm sure I can get it to work, but we'll find out. So what I'm using is, this is some really good stuff here. Okay, it's a JV Weld. It's a black epoxy. It cures, or it's workable after 15 minutes, and it's sandable, and it sets in less than 24 hours, something like that. Anyhow, so anyhow, that's what I want to be using. And we're going to get together. First I got to put the studs on that hold the screws so that this thing can be reattached, and then I'll have to piece together some plastic parts that bust it off. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do right now, and stay tuned. Alright, we're going to open up this baby Weld epoxy, and this is kind of a nice one because it's a 1-to-1 mixture, and it's got plungers on here, and the plungers will mix it for you, so you don't really have any problem. I'm going to save this cover because I want to use this to mix my epoxy on the back side here. Comes with a little stick, which I just dropped on the floor. But all you do is take this cover off, take this little cover off right here, and you just take these here and then you use it as a plunger. And then you mix it up and you apply things off. But in order to put the stuff on there, I'm going to go get me some toothpicks. Here's the stick they give you, but to apply it on the small areas, see, I got to apply it on these small ends right here. Okay, but I'm going to put it on the housing. One's going to go right here, hard to see because it's black. Other's going to go right there, right on there. That's where those two studs will go. And after they get that deal, I get them epoxied on there and dried. Then I got to fill in this part here that broke off. And then it should be ready to put on the car. Well, hopefully. These are very tricky. You got to line them up just right, or if you don't get them in there, they're going to be kittywampus, and you ain't going to be able to get the screws lined up right. So anyhow, we're going to do, we're going to mix up some of this epoxy. We're going to put one at a time on. Pull that cap off. Okay, we're just going to squeeze. We're just going to squeeze a little bit on here. Okay, that's a bit. We don't need much. That's plenty right there. Mix them up like that there. Now I'm just going to put this on one part. Okay. I'm going to put that on the bottom part here. I'm just stick some in there. It's really hard to see in there. Yeah. Okay, that's how it is. Oh, maybe I'm just going to have to hold it for 15 minutes. That's really tough in there. But I got to hold it. If I got to hold it for 15 minutes, I'll do that. Okay, you can see it there. I got it in place, but I don't dare put the other one in for at least 15 minutes, so I just got it in place so it's holding, so I gotta wait another 10-15 minutes before I try to put the other one in. That's what we're looking at right below my finger right there, right there. I don't want to touch it. Gonna let it sit there. It's good and hard. Okay, there, I'm going to put a little light on it. You can see it a little better where it's fitting there. But I don't dare move it, so I'm going to leave it set for a good 15-20 minutes more before I try putting the other one on. Okay, I'm back. We're going to check and see how this epoxy got hard or not. And there, that's pretty good. It's really tacky. So it should be good enough for. I'm going to do the other one now. And we got to do a fresh mixture. Take a look at this guy here. That's the one I put on there. And looks pretty good and solid. Okay. I got the second one in place, and that was a lot harder to do. I had to hold it all the time. So I had to hold it for over 5 minutes because otherwise it would go a little crooked. But those two are sit there now, so I'm going to leave them sit there for a little over an hour or so. And I'm going to side dress them with some more epoxy. Okay, I'm back. It's been a little over an hour since I did this. Let me check and see. And that's some pretty good hard stuff right there. That was the first one. This is the second one. Boy, they're solid in there now. So these should be in there pretty good. And they're pretty solid. Yeah, so they're pretty solid. So they're looking really good. And I got this two in there. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to side dress the sides of it here, just to build up some of the sides around where the crack was. And that should make it good and solid. So I'm just going to add a little more epoxy on there. Just stir them up. Again, we're just going to stir this up so it's all black and get all in there. This JB Weld is pretty good stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And I'm just gonna, after I make sure I got it all mixed up okay, well we're just gonna paint the sides of this thing. Just right here, we're just gonna fill that up there, and we're just gonna reinforce that. And this I'm going to let dry overnight, so this should be pretty good. I don't want to put it up too high because the crack is right down on the bottom there. Okay, we did that one. Now we'll do this one here also. This one right here is I want to keep it away from this crack part here because I gotta put some stuff on there, and I got a little bit on there. I have to wipe that off real quick here. Right on this crack, because I got to put the other piece in there, and I don't want any epoxy in there. Not right now, anyhow. So I'll just reinforce it all and make it nice and strong. Okay, I have to put that on there first. I got the studs epoxied in place. Now I'm going to tighten the screws up. And then I'll have to epoxy that bottom piece in there after I get these screws fixed. Let's put this mirror in there. See if it works. Alright, now we'll make sure that part works. It's in there good and solid. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the mirror movement with the inside switch, make sure I have clearance right, left, up, down. Everything looks pretty good, so I think we'll just continue on. Okay, that works all good. Now we're going to take the mirror back out again and epoxy this bottom piece in here. Right here I'm going to check the bottom piece that I have to epoxy in, make sure that it all lines up and it fits in there without, that it's level with both sides, so I can epoxy it in there. And it's a little difficult to get it in there, but it all set in there just fine. Okay, what I'm going to do now, since we know the piece is going to fit, I'm applying the epoxy or the JB weld onto the portion that cracks, so that the two edges will fit together, and the JB weld then will cure, and then it'll hold it in place and give it a little strength. Later on, I'll add a little more to the top and the bottom of this after this dries. And we get it all set in place. So far it's looking pretty good. Okay, here I'm going to put the piece in. I just put the epoxy on a broken piece, and I'm going to put it in place and make sure that it's as level as I can get it, and it turned out to be pretty level. Once I get it in position, I'll hold it there and I'll put some tape on the outside, and I'll put it so it holds the two pieces together, and it'll all be in place once it all dries. Looking good. Here I'm just going to add a little more tape, and just to make sure it holds in place, nothing moves. Also give it one more look to make sure that the broken part is mated up good with the rest of the mirror housing. Everything looks good. Alright, here I'm just going to add some epoxy now to the inside of the housing all along the crack where I joined the two pieces together, and just want to put a nice coat on there so it
covers the whole crack, and this will add more strength. I'm also going to do it to the outside, and I'll put quite a bit on the inside. I don't really care how that looks. The outside I'll put a lot on, and then further on down the video you'll see where I sand all that down. This just shows how I'm applying it to the outside, all along the crack. If you notice, this is where I'm using the toothpick for these small areas. Works great. This is the first sanding. What I forgot to do was put a mask on. This stuff tastes pretty bad if you inhale it. So you'll see I wear a mask in the next one. Alright, this is after the first sanding, and you can see the where I put the epoxy. It's still rough, so I'm going to have to sand it again. So we'll just keep going. Well, waiting for the paint to dry, I thought I'd do a little yard work. Lots of leaves this year, so I thought I'd clean them up till the paint dries. Well, there's the finished product. It looks pretty good. If you look close, you can see where the epoxy went. Otherwise, it looks good. All right, this is the final mirror movement check. Everything's back together. There's no restriction on how the mirror moves. It's very solid. It should last for as long as I have the car, hopefully. And another project I enjoy doing, try out these things if you have any talent at all. It's a lot of fun.
Alright, there you got it. Now you got it all back together. I think it looks pretty good. 11-year-old vehicle, I'm not going to put a lot of money into it. And I'm not any good at ripping off the inside upholstery anyhow. I've never been able to do that. I break more things doing that than I save and having someone else do it. But anyhow, mirror works good. Remote control works. It's watertight and it's solid. Ain't gonna come off. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you would like. Make some comments. We really do enjoy the comments. I had some real nice comments from a guy up in Canada on my trailer I put together. We like the comments. Tell your friends about it. Please subscribe. See you down the road.